Hey y'all, Mike here with Raider Dog Ranch. Today I want to review not a new product to me, but one that I've had for a few years. That is the Pit Boss 1230 combination pellet smoker and gas grill. I've had this for a few years, been enjoying it quite a bit, so I wanted to share it with all of you. So let's get into it. As I said, I've had this grill for at least 2, maybe 3 years now. Got it for Father's Day a few years ago. Really enjoyed it. I have not been a meat smoker historically, partly because I'm lazy, and it's a lot of effort to keep your fire at the right temperature over a long period of time. You've heard me say I live in Texas. I'm not a native Texan. I did not grow up smoking brisket, but I've really learned to enjoy it. It does take effort. It takes a long time, but that's the only way to cook brisket. It turns out really good. And on a pellet grill, obviously this is like a religion. A lot of people will say, "No way, man, you can't use a pellet grill. That's cheating." Well, they're right. It is cheating because you can set the temperature on this thing and walk away from it and leave it for hours and not have to worry about it. So that is definitely the advantage to a pellet grill. If you want to learn about pellet versus wood fired, I'm sure there's a bunch of other videos out there that talk about it. I'm just going to focus on my experience here with this one. I wanted to ease into this smoker experience by not taking up my entire back porch with a smoker grill, a gas grill. You might have seen my Blackstone video, so I have a Blackstone griddle. That's a lot of space. So I wanted to go with this smaller compact unit. It really does serve that purpose. We have a family of 4. Even though that doesn't look like a lot of grill space, it's plenty of space for the 4 of us. And even if we want to entertain a small group, that works pretty well too. So I want to go through this grill and show you one of the things that I really like about it, a few of the things that I really don't. And then I'm going to talk about the newer version that they have at Academy. That's where we got this one. I'm sure they're available elsewhere. But they've made some improvements to this. And if I remember, it's about the same price. So I'll add that to the end. So we'll start over on the gas grill side of this one. You can see the attachment goes on the side. Pretty standard. It is a 3-burner unit. You know that because there's 3 knobs on the front. Piezo igniter. I apologize for the dirty inside, as I say. I do use this quite a bit, and it was kind of an inspiration for me to at least get the outside cleaned to do this video. So thank you all for encouraging me to clean the outside of the grill, which never happens. This looks real dusty, and that's because I usually take this out. We were talking about space earlier. That makes for much easier cooking there, and I don't usually use that raised grate for anything. So I tend to take that one out, keep it stored underneath, but for the purpose of the video, I decided to throw it in there. 3 burners with the covers on them. This one does a pretty good job of not flaming up. I've had some trouble with it lately, but that might be because I don't do a good job of keeping it clean. And so that could be a little bit of grease firing up from the bottom side. I think it gets up to 500 degrees. Let's see how many BTUs it is. I don't have the BTU count on this, but it does easily get up to 500 degrees. You can see we got a temperature gauge here. So even, you probably know this, the temperature here is quite a bit cooler than the temperature down on the grates, right? Some of them have a probe down here. So 500 degrees up here is usually cooler than what it is down on the grates. And again, easily 500 degrees. This cap here is more for the smoker than for the grill, even though it attaches to the grill. Back in the back, which you cannot see, there is a gate here. This gate connects to this handle connects to a gate right back here, and that allows you to close off the smoker so that you maintain all of the smoke in here, or you can release it, and that creates the airflow that you need. It pulls it across and up the stack. Again, kind of fundamental thing of smokers. Pellet grills, you don't think too much about them because that is partly how you control your temperature on a wood-fired grill. So let's take a look. Stop. So let's take a look at the grate size, since the data doesn't show you that on the website. All right, I thought that would stick. It's got a magnetic tip, so it's supposed to stick. All right, all the way to the back. So 19 inches of grill space that way. And we're going to go outside to outside. So I would say roughly 19 inches squared is what you're going to get here, maybe a little less. Same thing, obviously the depth is 19. And the width is also about 19. So both of them are 19 by 19 cooking space, plus they add in this little bit of cooking space up here. We're going to call that 11 by 19 in both. So that's the advertised cooking space. I think I'm more interested in this main cooking space if you need to figure out if the space is big enough for you. Hope that helps. And to control your grease flow, there is a grease pan underneath. This grease pan is angled. It drips down into the bucket here. And the bucket has these little insertable foil replaceable cups. I will add a link to those in the description. If you have one of these, I definitely recommend that. You can see that I went without one for a while. I'm also bad about remembering to check it, so I had a little bit of overspill at one point, and that bucket is starting to get rough. It's the other nice thing about the inserts, it keeps the bucket in really good shape. If you don't use that, it starts to deteriorate that thin metal bucket. There's your igniter, your 3 burner controls. There is a tray here on the side that's removable. So you could, if you keep that really clean, or if you cover it with foil, you can use that to bring your stuff in and out. With the holes on it, you might think that you could put it in here as a veggie tray or a fajita tray or something like that with small items. It does not fit. It's too wide to go into one of those burners. A couple of attachments or hooks on the side for your grill cleaner or any utensils you want to add there. And now let's come over to the smoker side. The smoker side has a nice little lift up tray. That's kind of nice. Just wide enough to make you think you can put something there, and then it'll fall off right to the ground. Thermometer probe on this side. Again, roughly the same space on the grill surface. And same thing, I usually take this out because, you know, any large brisket or turkey or anything is going to be taller than that. So that gets in the way. You can see a little bit of rust forming across here. This is the hood that creates indirect heat for the grill. And I'll take that apart in just a second and show you kind of how that works. Over here, you've got the main control unit. This does have a power supply. So you do need to plug this in. Nice little handy organizer for the cord. While we're back here, we'll look at this. You can remove all of the pellets using this here. It's kind of a stop. You pull this out, you pull this tab open, and the pellets will come out. You put your container back here. They do recommend that you remove your pellets when it's not in use, because what can happen, especially in areas of high moisture, those pellets are obviously compressed wood chips. So once they start to get moisture, they'll expand. They won't burn as well, and you won't keep a consistent temperature. So you do not want to keep those in the grill. I've done that with exception, but in Central Texas, we have very low humidity. It's usually not a problem after this spring humidity is gone. It's pretty terrible right here now. So here's the window to show you how much pellet you have left. Handle on the side, pivot wheels on this side, fixed wheels on the back side, so pretty easy to move. Definitely want to keep it on hard surfaces. It's about 200 pounds as it is right now. And there's the hopper that goes inside, a little filter here. Honestly, this filter kind of gets in the way because as you're cooking, you can see it, if the camera shows it well, it's kind of filtered to the hole, you know, drops down to your loader right there, and you kind of keep wanting to feed it in, but this kind of stops you from doing that. So if you want to, it's just in there with a few screws. You can take that out. Handy instructions right here on the side to kind of show you a little wiring diagram, some safety tips, things like that. And what I'm holding here is a probe. It comes with 2 probes, which is pretty handy. And if we go down to the control system, the probes go in here, and it calls them probes 1 and 2. Nice if you're cooking different meats, or if you want different finishes on your meats. That's an easy way to track that. This unit is not wireless, not Wi-Fi, not Bluetooth. This is a very basic non-wireless device. I want to touch on that a little bit later. So you have a power button. Your prime button, prime is basically for when you start it up, it's going to speed up the auger just a little bit and get the fire going faster. Got a display here. I can't plug it in because I don't have wire power where we are. And you have fixed temperature ranges here. Everything from smoke, which is, I think it's like 180 degrees, all the way up to high, which I think would get to 500. I'm not sure. I never do anything above 300 because I don't use this as a grill. Supposedly you can use it as a grill, but why would you do that when you have a grill? So, all right, let's get into this a little bit. Let's take this guy out, put him underneath. These have nice finger holes in them so you can grab them. While I'm wearing gloves. So this unit is, like I said, direct or indirect heat. This piece right here goes to this handle. And if you pull this, yeah, I didn't think that was going to move. I don't ever open this because, again, I only use it as a smoker. If you want to use this as a grill, you can push that unit. Looks like it's kind of cooperating. And see, it's supposed to align all of these holes and open them up. Again, you can see these are all caked up because, one, they need to be cleaned. Two, I don't ever open this, so that all needs to be cleaned out. So if you wanted direct heat, if you were going to, put a little finish on a steak or something like that, that would give you the direct heat out of the firebox. So in order to take this off, you flip that little lever, pull this guy out, and then figure out how to snake it out of the hole. And we'll put it over here with the other. And then this component can come off separately. And you can see it just rests in place. There's nothing that holds it. And then this is the main unit. Kind of sits in these grooves here. And there's a little bit of a slant to it that comes down this way. You probably can't see that with the camera. Maybe a little bit there. And that is so that when you're smoking meat and it drips, it's dripping, running down here, dripping off the edge. And I'll reveal the underneath. And that needs to be cleaned. So here is your dirty firebox. Sorry guys, I only had time to clean the outside. So, see here, this is where the pellets come out. They come through, there's an auger. So an auger is basically like a big spiral unit that fills the whole tube. And the pellets get in between the spirals and it just slowly pushes them out. And this fire ignites down here. That happens automatically when you turn the power on. So no manual fire needed, it'll ignite. And it'll get up to the temperature because there's a temperature probe right here. So you don't see that one. That one's behind the scenes kind of, but that wires down to the box. And that's how it's monitoring this temperature, and it gives you the temperature output here. Mine seems to run a little hot, but I think what's happening is it'll run a little hot, it'll shut it down, and then it'll cool a little below. So on average, it's going to be the temperature that you ask it to be. The recommendation is that you take this apart and vacuum all this ash out every time, because this ash can become somewhat of a bomb. It definitely becomes a real fire hazard. I've seen videos of pellet smokers that, I was going to say they explode. They don't literally explode, but they create so much heat in there, they do combust into a little, okay, all right, maybe it is an explosion. So this is very undisciplined to leave this like this. And I have had times where, because I watch my cooking very closely, I have had flare-ups where the temperature went way up in the box. And that's what's happening. I've actually had this area on fire, and part of that is the grease, right? You're getting grease coming down. You can see some here on the wall that needs to be cleaned. So you've got grease coming down that chute that we talked about and dripping in this pan, and this pan collecting in there. We'll see the ash here. So if there's any spark or anything that gets to the grease, obviously that becomes a pretty major fire that's hard to deal with. So you have to basically shut the whole thing down, let it cool down. I have even taken the time to pull the brisket off, get in here, vacuum all this out, and restart. All that because I didn't maintain it. It's not the grill's fault. It's my fault for not proper maintenance. So not a ding against the product itself. So as I mentioned, that is the grease trap. That grease trap goes exactly down in there, drips straight into that pan. If you're going to cook briskets or things that take a long time, I'd recommend emptying that after every cook because that thing fills up pretty fast. So let's talk about some of the things I like and don't like about this unit. Just as a general statement, I like pellet smoking very much. It's perfect for me. It's not something that you have to watch intently, but I also don't leave it and go to the store. I think that's a terrible idea. I've seen people do that. Maybe if you have cooked a lot on your grill and you really trust it, but I don't recommend doing that. I definitely wouldn't have it near the house if I were going to do that. So the pellet grill piece, check. I like that. In fact, I like it so much. I think when I go to upgrade this unit, we'll wipe out the gas grill part and enlarge the grill part, because this unit, if you're going to cook something big, so I can cook up to a 12, I think I've pushed a 15-pound brisket on this, but in order to do that, it has to be diagonal and it really goes from tip to tip. So I don't think that's ideal. It doesn't allow proper heat flow around the meat. If you're a smoker expert, you can drop that in the comments. Let me know if that's right or not. The other thing I like about it is the flexibility. So I'm kind of contradicting what I just said. I like that I have a grill and a smoker in one piece that doesn't take up very much space, not any more space than a large smoker would. So that is a nice advantage. And if it suits your needs, like I say, it really suits our needs for four. It's not a bad idea. So how would I summarize that? If I had the space and if I cooked out a lot, I'd be willing to upgrade to a bigger pellet smoker, and I'm very happy with Pit Boss. They don't give me any trouble, and they're quite a bit cheaper than some of the other pellet smokers out there. I think I would go with Pit Boss again. Some very nice features on some of the others out there, but they're an upgrade. So what do I dislike or what would I change? That mostly has to do with the control system on this unit. Now understand, this is kind of an entry-level unit, so all this is understood, but I can really appreciate the full digital output on some of these smokers. This unit has very fixed temperatures on it. You got to go 225, 250, then it jumps to 3. Well, the recipe that I learned to cook brisket on tells you to go from 225 to 275. So you got to kind of adjust for that. I think the infinite adjustments on temperature based on a dial knob instead of a click knob would be really beneficial. I think that would be nice. The other thing that, again, it would be an upgrade that I would really appreciate is a wireless communication device. As simple as it is to come out and check the temperature of your device on a regular basis, it would be extremely nice to just sit inside and the probe from your phone or from another device tell you when you're up to temperature. So that is something that a lot of the units do come with. I think that's probably worth the investment to go with that upgrade. I don't remember if this unit is, I know this is not the competition series. It may be the classic series. You might see in the sun a little bit. There's sort of a bronze copper finish on this that kind of defines some of their products. I think the competition pros and the competitions are all black. But that kind of explains that this is an entry-level unit. Y'all made me feel so bad about it being dirty. I wanted to show you that I took the time to clean it out. That is what it should look like before every use. Or better, if you want to get it really clean, just to get it dirty again. Okay, let's jump over here on the computer and look at these grills. This is the one that I have today. They have it on the Pit Boss site, but I do not see it at my local academy. So it's still available, could be available in your area. It is a retailer exclusive, and from what I can tell, that is Academy and Menards. I don't know, maybe they rotate them, I doubt it. But I wanted to jump in since there were a couple of things I couldn't find about my grill. We'll jump to this real quick. It says 1,200 square inches of cooking space. That's probably true, but remember that includes that upper cooking rack that tends to be not so useful. So I would go with the 19 by 19 square on both of those. The other thing it mentions is a 21-pound hopper capacity. I did not mention that. And it shows here 30,000 BTUs. I think that's pretty standard on a 3-burner gas grill. And that's about it that I missed out on here. Now I wanted to show you the one that I was talking about that's currently available at your local academy, and that's this one here, the competition series. See, it's still a 1230, but they call it a CS1. I guess 1230 is the basic side-by-side design. 1200 square inches probably defines that. So you can see it's the same size, same hopper capacity. It's really the same unit. It's in the matte black finish as most of the competition series is. But this is what I think is really a great upgrade. It includes Wi-Fi and Bluetooth wireless technology, and you can use the Pit Boss Grills app to monitor the temperature settings. You can monitor the meat probes, and it says much more here. We'll jump over to the Academy website where it's got a few more details. Same grill, 1231 competition series. It is $6.99 right now, and you can see the format is exactly the same. There's a little tray now on the side. I guess that's so that you can put your probes in. I think that's a really great idea because mine did not have anywhere to put the probes. You have to keep them inside or in a separate container. The shelf over here on the right became a fixed shelf. It's not the removable tray anymore. I think that's probably fine for most people. And here's what I really like. This is a wireless control system. It is fully digital. There are no fixed temperature settings, so you can change this to whatever temperature you want it to be. Still has the 2 probes, and it's got wireless and Bluetooth. If I read down a little further, it says the Wi-Fi controller, it measures the meat preparedness, or the temperature, the temperatures of the probes, the flame intensity, so that would be the probe built into the unit, and the fuel level. That's very nice that it measures the amount of pellets. If you're smoking a brisket for a long time, you could run short. Now, I've smoked for as much as 10 hours and I have not run out of pellets, but it does get low enough that you tend to want to refill it. So that's a nice feature to have. So here it is, guys. I think this thing is a really, really good deal. You're combining a pellet smoker and a gas grill into one. You're saving space. If you're new into smoking and you want to make it easy on yourself, I really think this is a really good deal. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please go ahead and click the like button. That helps the channel a lot. And if you like this kind of content, you can subscribe to the channel. And if you hit the notification bell, you'll be notified when new videos come out. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see y'all next time.